Hey gamers, welcome back. It's game time. I'm Kyle. Welcome to another system overview. Today we have the Panasonic 3DO. This is actually the FZ10 model. This was the second one that they did. The original one was a bit bigger and everything. I don't have that one currently. Maybe someday, but for now we gotta get some 3DO action on the channel. And I thought, what a better way to introduce that than to introduce the console itself. So like I said, this is the Model 2. So what we're going to do on this video real quick, we're just going to take a tour around the system, look at the controller, see some of the games. I got a nice little pile there. And we'll play, we'll sit down and play 2 games, just to kind of show off a little bit what they look like. So I'll also give a couple of fun facts while we're doing the system. The 3DO itself was an idea from Trip Hawkins, who was one of the founders of EA Games at the time. So how about that? So yeah, let's take a tour around the system itself, and we'll share some facts and gameplay. So as you can see here, nice little system. Mine's got a few scuffs, but what do you expect? One controller port. I'll get to why there's only one here in just a moment. Push for that opens up. That's where your games as well as original ordinary CDs go. Here is, of course, the lights ready and access. I don't know, we'll get to that. The original model actually, I think, had a big CD opening that kind of opened up like a CD player. Here on the side is your power switch on and off. I know it's kind of a weird location for it, but other side just has a place for some expansions, which there was originally going to be some. Never quite worked out. Nothing much along the bottom, just your standard stuff there. A couple of vents. And on back, here we go, we got the RF out switch, channel select 3 and 4. Sorry, it's a little out of focus. S-video, which is actually pretty neat, pretty advanced for the time. Your standard video cables there. More expansions. And where the AC adapter goes. And yeah, a little more vents there on top. Speaking of which, here's what the AC adapter looks like. It actually looks like, I'm trying to pull it out. There's the cord itself. Something that plugs into like the PlayStation's, Dreamcast, Sega Saturn, I think, Xbox. So kind of one of those. It's kind of the standard plug in there at the time. Controller itself, I actually really like the controller. The D-pad's kind of fun. ABC, so very Sega Genesis controller. You got what would be the start and select button, but these are more for multimedia, where you can, while playing CDs and whatnot, you actually can start and pause it and stop it from the controller itself. 2 triggers up there, and you can see there, if you want to do some multiplayer instead of plugging both controllers into the console, like, you know, like pretty much everything else, you would actually plug a separate controller in there. And I think I'm doing it upside down. I am. So there you go. There's your multiplayer. One controller plugged into the other one. How about that? That's really something. But actually, the controllers feel pretty nice. They're a little thick, but I think some people will like that. Pretty advanced though for this time. I never seen this prior to the 360 controller. There's actually on the bottom a headphone jack. That's really cool, and a little volume rocker there. You can adjust the volume of the headphones while you're playing. So that's pretty cool. I don't think I've ever am aware of any consoles that did that before the Xbox 360. You know, they had their little headphone jack on the controller. So yeah, that's cool. I don't think I'm aware of any other consoles that did that. So definitely advanced for its time. Could also play, and I forget if it does play DVDs. I'm not sure. I think that might be a separate attachment, because I see here in the corner, you know, it plays the 3DO games and compact disc. Normally it might give a DVD logo, but maybe that was one of the other attachments. We've got the games here. I'll get to those in just a second here. Some fun facts. So October 4th, 1993 is when this came out here in North America. March 20th in Japan, and 1994 in the EU, in Europe. March 20th, 94 in Japan, I should say. Sold about 2 million-ish units, so it did okay, but definitely not extremely good. Gex, the Gecko, was the best-selling game for it. Had some online features planned, but were canceled probably due to lack of sales. But that would have been pretty cool to see this online. It really was an advanced system for its time. If that would have worked out, there was a proposed successor to this. It was just called M2. Obviously, I probably would have got a different name, but never came out again, probably due to lack of sales. M2, before it became an idea for successor, was just going to be an add-on. So Panasonic made the first models. These are the more common ones to find, the ones that are made from Panasonic. Like I said, this is the second model that they did. But they also licensed out the hardware to other companies such as Sanyo and Gold Star. So you'll probably find a lot of Gold Star 3DOs as well. A little more harder to come by, but Panasonic are the more common ones. Like I said, I got this through Amazon. It was a pretty good deal. It was a little bit cheaper than their original models. So, and like I said, the original model, pretty much like this too, only the CD tray actually opened up kind of like, you know, the PS2s do. Time Magazine's 1993 Product of the Year. I'm sure that was just for maybe some electronics or maybe in the video game category. So there was a lot of hype about it going before it came out. Gold Star, the Gold Star brand, Gold Star now is LG. So they were originally going to get Sony to help manufacture some units, kind of like they did with Sanyo and Gold Star. But Sony at the time was just starting up a little thing called the PlayStation, so they were unable to kind of help them out. That would have been pretty interesting. Even AT&T made some prototype, 3DO prototypes, and they were even at the Consumer Electronics Show in 1994. So imagine these, some 3DOs made by AT&T. That would have been pretty good. Crash and Burn was the system's first bundled title, and I think I do have that one. That's Need for Speed. Yeah, Crash and Burn. We might take a look at this game. It's kind of a fun little racing game, but it was the console's first bundled title. So, okay, that's kind of the fun facts there, I know. For anyone who hasn't fallen asleep, let's take a look at the games here. I only have just a handful of games. Here we go again with, as far as collecting, I'm not the type of collector that needs every single game in the library. Honestly, a lot of 3DO games were played very, very well, but there was also a lot of crappy ones. I don't really have an interest in those. I just want to collect and play the games that I want to play. So there's not a lot here. I probably would like to double the collection. There's at least 10 or so more that look like they would be kind of interesting to play. So hopefully I can get those here in the near future. But Super Street Fighter 2 Turbo, definitely one of the better ports of the game. We will definitely play that just to show off how superior it is compared to like the Sega Genesis and Super Nintendo ones at the time. This one's very arcade-like. Total Eclipse. I have Gex. That was the popular one. We probably won't play this on this episode, but I definitely will play this in the near future on a separate video, just because it was the most popular game for the 3DO. I always like to have a golf game. I am a golf fan in real life, so for every console I like to have at least one golf game. This one's kind of, it takes a long time to play just because they do the full motion video. This was one of the games that kind of came in a bundle. I don't know, it's the game show. I've never actually played it yet. Crash and Burn, the very first Need for Speed. How about that? Road and Track presents The Need for Speed. This is the first one there. And I just got a sampler CD here. So next up, like I said, we'll play some Crash and Burn, and we'll definitely check out the Street Fighter 2 Turbo, or excuse me, Super Street Fighter 2 Turbo games. We'll play both of these, just a couple minutes each, and we'll see how they play on the Panasonic 3DO FZ10 model. Alright, thought I'd give you a look at the startup screen here. Just gotta adjust the camera. There we go. Don't have a disc in there currently, but I thought I'd show you kind of the menu setup, because let's be honest, you know, how often do we see the Panasonic 3DO? So there we go. We can press the X to start. The storage manager, which is actually the stop button, so it would be essentially the select, so built-in storage, etc. There you go. Remove items, you can do done, you got the drive, Gex videos. So I put in Crash and Burn, just put it in, so I'm going to start this game up here. Get to see load times and everything. And yes, I'm more Need for Speed is probably the more common one. Need for Speed, honestly, is I think the better game. Racing wise on here, but I think a lot of us also know what Need for Speed's about, especially the first one's kind of a little bit different than the rest, and we'll again do it on a future video if there's interest in that. But Crash and Burn, I believe, is a little more unique to the 3DO. So we'll take a look at that. Like I said, we're just going to play about 2 minutes of it here. Then we'll move on to our Super Street Fighter 2 Turbo Edition. A little bit of a load time there, but sound-wise, it's great. You gotta really love that CD quality, especially during this time period when compared to, especially the Sega Genesis audio. Oh man, Crystal Dynamics, 1993. The controller, I forgot to mention. I don't know if we've seen it when I was showing it off, but it is a 9-pin connector, so very much like the Genesis and Atari. So it'll just be this dude here. We'll just race. Love that full motion video. FMV, folks. So let's do circuit. Like I said, we're not going to go too hardcore here. We'll just do... oh my god, just go. Let's race. So once you're done hitting the same button 20 times to get started, we'll try a race here. You might hear some of that in the background. That's the disc loading up. It's kind of a little bit loud. Oh, a fun little racing game. Like I said, looks-wise, Need for Speed's a little bit better and definitely plays a little bit better. But again, I think a lot of us are pretty aware of what Need for Speed games are about. Crash and Burn here. I'm hitting the A button for gas. The right trigger is to shoot. Looks like I have 93 shots in my little pistol right underneath the time. So kind of going around shooting the other cars as well. Let's see what some of the other buttons do. V's, yeah, your brake. C, oh, I'm being shot. So you can go into first-person view. There you can see kind of the guns in action there. Definitely very 90s nostalgia. I like it. Fun game. And I can see where it could be a good pack-in game for the 3DO because it does kind of show off some good features about it. Controller's great too, like I said, just like the Genesis controller. A little more thicker. It's a little bit of a heavier controller to hold, but it works out pretty well. I like it. No complaints. Oh, we have some missiles there. I gotta play around with the game more myself. But yeah, this is kind of a little bit of Crash and Burn. Unique game here on the 3DO. Fun. All right, let's pause and we'll hit some Super Street Fighter 2 Turbo next. All right, and lastly, we'll just play a quick match here in Super Street Fighter 2 Turbo on the Panasonic 3DO. This was the superior version. Got all our options and stuff. I'm sure a lot of us know what these are. There's that. It's kind of weird because on the controller you do have the ABC buttons for your punches and stuff, and you have 2 triggers for your kicks. What's very weird is the third option, or the middle button, is actually going to be right here in the middle. It would equate to the start button, so that's kind of weird to use that as an actual button in here. So I'll just take it down to 2-star difficulty just because I actually really suck at this version. Super battle. Gotta be my babe, Chun-Li. Very first crush. So again, keep in mind this is very arcade-like, which at the time was very impressive. You gotta hand the 3DO a lot of credit because you take a look at what you see on the Super Nintendo and Sega Genesis. That kind of was the only versions around at the time. I forget if the Saturn had one or not, but well, look at that! Just super quick. Sound is great. I'll even shut up here for a moment. Using that start button for a punch is just weird. It's oddly placed. Well, there we go. No comments about my crappy fighting style. It's been a while. Whoop. Do miss a little bit of the joystick. Well, I should be a little more used to the D-pad too. But hey, just super quick, I really love this version. I wish I was just a lot more better at it, but definitely if you're a huge Street Fighter fan, Street Fighter 2 especially, you gotta like this version. I'd recommend a Panasonic 3DO. So there we go. Pretty much that. I won't go into any further here, but you get the idea. Hey everybody, thanks for watching. I'm going to put this in the 3DO playlist. I think I don't have anything in there yet, so I'm going to make a 3DO playlist. So any future videos that we do with the Panasonic 3DO, we'll definitely throw in the playlist. So subscribe for more if you like what you see. If not, that's cool. I also have other playlists as well, like Atari, Sega, you name it, Xbox. All those videos related to those consoles and systems will be in those playlists. And yeah, thanks everybody for checking it out. Thumbs up for the Panasonic 3DO. Definitely an underrated system. One that I got not all that long ago, and I've been enjoying it since. So we'll definitely see some more videos. A couple great games to show off as well. So stay tuned for those in the near future. Everybody take care and happy gaming.